Greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome to a gameplay commentary where I talk over a bit of gameplay for a subject, and then we just proceed to listen to my voice. Now, I'm not using my standard microphone because I was told that the microphone I'm currently using, which is for my headset, which is a Turtle Beach, really gets the deeper tone of my voice, so I'm deciding to use this, and you guys tell me what you think. Do you want me to use this microphone, or do you want me to use the other microphone? The other microphone doesn't peak out at certain points and is a lot clearer, but also captures a lot more, sounds. Or would you rather have it like this, where if I start to yell or I get startled, it starts to distort? Anyways, moving on. Today's video is going to be about PvP and PvE, and considering the game we're playing right now in the background is Armored Warfare, I'm sorry, no audio was recorded because Action hates me, which is the program I use to record. You're just going to have to listen to my voice. Armored Warfare is a game that I invested money into because I absolutely want to do it. And I have been waiting for the PvE to come out. That's all I want from this game is the PvE. I don't want PvP because I'm not a fan of PvP. And yet I've played World of Tanks and War Thunder to the point where I've actually gone up some pretty damn high tiers. Past the mid section, I've gone up into the high end. And I've had enough. I've uninstalled War Thunder because it was just too much. I'm just like, I don't want to do this anymore. I do not like PvP. I don't like that stress. I don't like being left alone. Even when I work with teams, I'm somehow not able to do anything. I don't like the unfair advantages that come along with PvE. I mean, PvP. PvP... Oh, no. PvE, God. See, this is what happens when you try to record when you're sick. Which is this recording right here stopped midway. Well, to be honest, it stopped to a point where I was like, okay, I'm done, I'm sick. I got sick like right in the middle of the second game, and we still won it somehow, but I got like severe vertigo. Like, everything was spinning around me, so I had to quickly say, okay, I'm done. I ended the recording, and I went to lay down, and then proceeded to puke my guts out like 5 times before I was able to stay stable. Ordered pizza, ate that, and then went to bed. Yeah, order pizza when you've just emptied your stomach how many times? But anyways, I'm feeling a lot better now, even though I'm still feeling really icky. So I got sick somehow. I don't know what I'm sick with, but we'll see. Anyways, continuing on. PvE is superior to PvP in my eyes, only for the reason that you're more obliged to work as a team together. It's a lot easier environment. It's not as stressful, and it can be just as difficult. I've had a lot of times where we failed missions on the hard difficulty because we didn't work that well as a team. We weren't, sticking together. We weren't picking targets one by one. We were also low tier. I haven't passed tier 2 yet on the Scorpion side. For Armored Warfare, and that's just because I haven't played that much. Currently, that's as far as I am, but I can assure you that I am deeply in love with the PvE. I invested a lot of money in Armored Warfare. A lot. I got the max package. Like, it's $80 or 72 or $70. I don't remember how much it was. But the reason I got that is because I support this game. And that's why I do it. First off, it's an independent developer, or producer, I should say. I don't know if Obsidian is independent, but I know they create Fallout, so that's a cool thing. But they've done a really good job. First off, the game looks fantastic, which is good to my expectations. It plays fantastic, which is good to my expectations. And I have seriously waited for PvE to come on to the closed beta, and it is absolutely fantastic. Everything about the closed beta is perfect. Or PvE on the closed beta is perfect. It's exactly what I want. Excluding a few things, and we'll get to that. But right now, there's just so much to praise for the PvE. First off, it doesn't just drop you off into the lobby to get more people like how PvP does. When you do PvP and you have a really good team, then you drop out, you have to queue up again, you may get a shit team. Well, that's not how PvE does it. PvE puts you in a group of 5 people, and if those 5 people suck, well, then you can just leave the garage and queue again. But if you get a really good team and they decide to stick with you, you can continue to do PvE mission after mission after mission without having to go back into your garage. And the more missions you do, the more reputation and experience you earn on that tank. You can keep doing that until basically your tank is full. And that is fantastic. That means, yes, it's a grindy bit of fantastic, but it's still, you feel accomplished. And if you need to stop in the middle, well, then you stop in the middle. You just say, okay, I'm done. But then that comes to one of the negatives. The negatives I find right now is when you leave garage as it's going on to the next mission, what'll happen is it'll leave you in that game as an AFK player. It'll leave your tank in that mission, which I think they should fix, and they probably will. Again, this is a closed beta, it's still being tested, and it's probably not going to get really fixed until the open beta. And to be perfectly honest, it is a fantastic otherwise game with the PvE installed. Now, I can imagine War Thunder and World of Tanks putting PvE in. I mean, like, real progressive PvE in, because right now they have no such thing. And before you War Thunder people go on and say, well, War Thunder has PvE, what the fuck are you talking about, Andre? I've gone up to tier 4 in that game, okay? And I can tell you one thing, not one of those tiers have ever been gained through PvE. It's always been PvP, because when you do PvE, there's nothing for tanks, first of all, and second, those missions you do, you can only do once. And then you can do them again and again and again, sure, but you gain nothing from them. Which is not progressive PvE. It's just there for when you're bored of PvP. It's not a way to gain levels, which is what I mean. I mean, I want to be able to go in and earn my tanks and earn my planes through the manners of PvE, not through PvP. There are no games like that, not even World of Tanks, which has been out for many years, by the way, since, what, 2011? I think, 2012, between those times, and it still has no PvE. All it's done is gained its PvP, and to be perfectly honest, it is frustrating. Many imbalances, the matchmaking sucks, and that's another thing I hate about PvP in the first place. You can be this person who just grabbed a freshly new tank and you have not experienced it, and then suddenly you're thrust into your first game in that tank, and you're the lowest tier up against tanks that your tank can't even do anything against. And then what's your first opinion going to be on that tank? Well, this tank sucks. That's why I hate PvP. PvE, on the other hand, allows you to get grips. You're not totally rushed to get it done. You have other people who can help you along, and the NPCs can be difficult, but they are simple enough to figure out and difficult enough to not be brain-numbingly easy where you can just drive up and shoot them. I've done easy missions and I've also done hard missions, and as you can see in this is a medium mission and we're just having fun. But we also did communicate a lot, and communication's another big thing. That's something you don't see often in War Thunder or World of Tanks, even on the PvP side, when you're in a random battle. But in these, there was communication. Even before these recordings, I was doing hard mode with other players, and there was communication. And that's something that I can see being a huge benefit. Now, I know people out there are saying, just wait until it's, open beta and all the idiots come in. Well, yeah, there's going to be idiots, but then there's going to be people that are going to say, I really like this and I want to get better. And there you go. And I know there's going to also be people that are going to exclusively just platoon themselves up with their friends and throw themselves in here. I think the current platoon limit is 3 or 5. I'm not 100% sure because I only had a friend on once, and we haven't been able to test if we're able to get up to 5. I think you can get 5 as long as you do PvE only, so you can get a full platoon of 5 people to go into PvE. There's also an insane mode, which I have never tested and probably won't get to test until way later in the open beta when other tanks are available and I have more friends to do it with. But PvE has that advantage of just being there. It's easy. It's not as stressful as PvP. You can take your time. If you have a bad team, you can just jump out. If you have a good team, you can just continue. It's really just free-flowing. It's smooth. It's relaxing oddly. It's oddly relaxing in that point where there's just no stress of having to deal with these players that know the advantage of the map. You know, they just know where to go, and they have their tank, and they know what to do, and they, you know, it makes it a lot more difficult to learn how to play the tank. And yes, I am a huge scrub at, you know, Armored Warfare, but I'm not a huge scrub at World of Tanks or War Thunder. You don't get the tier 4 by being a total scrub, and you don't get the tier 7 by being a total scrub. You know, I know how to play the tanks I have. But besides that fact, there are still people who are better than you, and it becomes very frustrating when you can't do anything in a certain battle because PvP can totally kick you in the balls that way, and PvE doesn't necessarily do that. And it's not the kind of PvE where you have to have a certain tank or a certain type of gear or level to do well in. Everyone can do well in a PvE situation if they utilize their tank correctly, which is perfect, which is how the PvE should be, and that's why I think the PvE in Armored Warfare is going to be superior to PvP, at least in my opinion, for me. And I know for a lot of people out there that are specifically supporting Armored Warfare for the PvE, because games like World of Tanks and War Thunder do not have PvE, and I don't know when they're going to have PvE, but it's not going to be anytime soon, guys. They're not going to have any sort of progressive PvE that is going to allow you to level up your tanks like Armored Warfare does. And I'm very happy to say that Armored Warfare looks like it's going to be that type of game that you are just going to have so much fun just jumping in for the first time, going into PvE. You don't need to unlock anything, just jump in and go and play. And you're good to go. And that's, I guess that's what I can say here. PvE is easier than PvP in a lot of ways, but that's what makes it fun. Some people don't want to jump on and deal with idiots or assholes. Some people just want to jump on and play the game without needing to feel stressed about doing good or having people, you know, yell at you for being a scrub. I mean, you're going to get that in PvE anyways, but not as frequently as PvP. Nowhere near as frequently as PvP. And there's not going to be as many elitists in PvE as there are in PvP. There's going to be a lot of players that are just going to come on and want to do maybe a round of PvP until they get tired of it and then swap over to PvE, which is another flexible option for Armored Warfare, and for all games that use PvE and PvP. It's about damn time that we get a free-to-play game like this that allows it. And if this whole thing, this rambling, made any sense, I'm happy it did, because I'm sitting here talking to you with a growing fever, and I need to go lay down. But I hope you guys enjoyed this little commentary that I've made, and I hope to see you all later. Bye-bye.